I think people should earn the right to do a whole album. I waited till I was 28 years old to do an album. I wanted to do an album since I was 17 years old, but I didn't have enough material. Now I feel like, me and my guys have developed to a point and developed our material that we have like 40 minutes of worthy things to say, and there's not anything on the album that I wouldn't stand behind, because it like either illuminated or took you on a voyage or made you feel good or put you through some kind of emotion or experience. A great album. All the great albums will stay just like Rimbaud's Season in Hell. Rock and roll is the art of our generation. Since the 50s, we haven't produced any great art. Since de Kooning, since the abstract expressionists, there has been no real high art. There's been good stuff, clever stuff, or good art school stuff, good illustrations. And we haven't done any great poetry. Nobody's really outdone Rimbaud. So, we're creating a new art form, and nobody's digging it, the fact that it's really an art form.
Have you started making, enough money that your lifestyle has changed at all?
We don't have any money. All our money we got went to, we got an good advance from the record company, and we spent it all on equipment. Because, we really want to sound great. Lenny's got one of the rarest, he's got a really rare guitar. And we spent our money on us, on the group, on our belief. We didn't, go off, and, party and nothing like that. We got us a practice room, we got us, we got us a new piano, and, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
We bought all group stuff. Nobody got any money. We didn't all make money from the advance or nothing like that. We just spent it on our common goal, Money doesn't really concern me. If we make it, great. If we don't make it. Every time I thought I've gone as high as I can go, we make a new breakthrough within the group. And it's like now, I can't even believe it. I just don't even know what's going to happen. I was really totally charmed within New York. I was totally captivated. I came as an art student. I didn't have any money, but I went right to Pratt, where the art schools was, and hung around the art students and learned as much as I could from them. And I became real good friends with this guy, Robert Mapplethorpe, who's a really good artist now. He's pretty famous he's getting big in New York, young artist. And I was sort of really maniac then. I hallucinated a lot. Naturally. And I'm very sensitive to drugs. And even when I don't take drugs, if a lot of people are taking drugs around me, I become in a drug state or something. So I was walking around New York, always hallucinating, going through all these maniacal changes and seeing all this life, it's some seedy lotus was opening up, and I was seeing all this different kinds of life. New York was some vicious kaleidoscope. But I was really totally captivated and seduced and perverted by it. And the rhythms of the city, so much. I was always very restless, high-strung. I have a lot of very high metabolism rate. New York really suited me, because all those fantastic rhythms moving at once was it calmed me, because it was as maniac as me, so I didn't feel lonely.
The whole cool thing about New York is the hustle, and you have to come to New York and develop your hustle. But you can't come to New York to become a New Yorker. I've never been enamored with being a New Yorker. What I'm enamored with New York is the possibilities. The tremendous hustle and the tremendous energy and the tremendous speed. Everybody's driven by desire in New York, and that drive itself infects you. And I met a lot of people. I just developed myself, I did what everybody did. I went through 1,000 sensations. And I went from art to poetry to sort of more rock-oriented poetry, rhythmic poetry, to real Burroughs type of poetry. And then I got more into performing. And look, if you're going to be a performer, if you're going to be a classical pianist, you study Mozart. You're going to be a performer, you study the great performers. And the great performers I had to study were, Mick Jagger, Bob Dylan, James Brown, Muhammad Ali. All great performers. And I was an apprentice of all those guys for a while. I feel, I've done all I've gotten an A in Mick Jagger, an A, and that's how I feel. Instead of going to some kind of getting my master's, I got my master's in rock and roll performing. As far as I'm concerned, I really love being a girl. I mean, especially because there's a lot more room to make it as a girl. There's been a lot of heavy men in the world, but there hasn't been any many heavy girls. When I sing jazz songs or I sing a Billie Holiday song, I sing them. You know, I don't like parody what I think they would have done, because that's still what you do when you're a teenager in the bathroom. You know, I did that in private. I parodied Darlene Love, or I parodied Ronnie Spector and tried to get her moves down and stuff like that. You got to go past parody, or you're not going to, you know, they can't achieve greatness. You know, I listen to Dylan's phrasing. You know, he's an excellent phraser. You know,
What's your favorite Dylan?
Muhammad Ali. Get a lot of Muhammad Ali stuff. Johnny Carson, though, I've got a lot more than anybody could ever dream. My delivery, how I deliver stuff, even how I do interviews. I mean, all this interviewing is a product of me pretending I was being interviewed by Johnny Carson for 11 years. That's the reason. I mean, everybody, I do great interviews. I do as good interviews as I do art, you know. I mean, it's like, to me, it's like part of it. You know, that's why if somebody's really knows where it's at, you know, they're going to realize that the interview is just as cool as, like, the, you know, a book or something. Me doing this thing with you is just preparing me for the Johnny Carson show of the future. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm practicing, man.